Hello and welcome to Writing Quest. My name is Brendan Pugh, and in today's episode we're going to talk about the first plot point and 5 tips to write it well. Huzzah! Alright, before we jump in, let's talk about what the first plot point is. Essentially, the first plot point is the impossible choice that the character has to make. So it's the part of the story where they've been pushed into the story by the inciting incident and the buildup. And so this is the part of the story where they finally have to make a choice about how to go about their journey and how to solve the problems currently facing them. So we're going to talk about 5 tips for writing that well. Here we go. Number 1, everything from the inciting incident to the buildup has to culminate in them having to choose an impossible choice. Everything that you put in the beginning of the novel needs to lead to this moment. Now, you may have some things where it's a little bit of backstory, a little bit of description, some side character stuff, but all of those elements need to somehow tie into them making this impossible choice. Otherwise, it's going to just feel like a bunch of unnecessary information, and your reader is going to not be interested in it, and they're going to wonder why it's there because it doesn't feel like it's motivated to be part of the story. I find this whenever I'm reading books that I really like, and it happens a lot in fantasy all the time, where you have so much description and backstory and everything where you just it's hard to get through, it's hard to read. I've had this both with the Wheel of Time series, Lord of the Rings is a great example. I love the world building. It's one of my favorite parts, but sometimes when you're reading it, it drags it down a lot. And it doesn't seem to play into the actual events of the story, at least when you read them. So for number 1, I would definitely work on everything in those first few chapters needs to tie in somehow to this impossible choice. Number 2, make the choice seem like there is no right answer. It is literally between a rock and a hard place. When they make the choice, it might be surprising to the reader the choice they make, but the reader isn't going to be confident necessarily about what choice they should have made. So nobody in the scenario, whether it's the reader, the characters, anyone, should really know what choice they should have made or should not have made. It's one of the it's the thing that makes it the impossible choice, is that there is no right answer. You just have to pick one and move forward and keep moving in the story. Number 3, the choice must hurt some friends or family members to the main character. So basically this is just to build the emotional and mental tension on the character. It kind of builds up the internal conflict. I would say, unless their internal conflict actually is hurting their friends and family, it's definitely like a supporting role that just kind of helps pile on the tension to your main character. So it's one of those things where, everything that your character does needs to have kind of a positive or negative effect on the other characters and people around them. And so for this particular part of the story, the first plot point, I suggest that you make a negative impact happen on the friends and family members of this particular character. You see this a lot whenever the farm boy decides to go on the journey or whatever it may be, but definitely something that hurts friends and family and goes against them, but it's also less painful for them to hurt their friends and family than to stay where they are. Number 4, they must doubt the choice they made constantly. Once again, this is part of the making it a rock and a hard place situation, an impossible choice. They need to feel like at all times that they did not make the right choice. Even at the times where they're confident about it and things might actually be going right for a time, they still need to have in the back of their mind a wondering of, did I choose the right thing? Did I do the right thing? But they are making the choice anyways to go forward because it's the only path that they saw in the moment. So give them lots of doubt. Again, back with number 3, it adds to that emotional pressure to the character to, am I doing the right thing, and am I doing the right thing by all the people around me? And am I going to solve the problem I have and ultimately get away from the thing I fear most? And number 5, the choice must have a reward and a consequence. I think at this point it's mostly consequence that needs to happen, but you definitely need to have a little bit of reward, because that's part of the hope that kind of motivates the character to keep moving. So definitely, it's got to be a lot of negative. You're hurting some of the people around you. You don't really know if you're making the right choice and all that, but there does need to be that twinge of reward that makes it a little exciting for them, that pushes them forward to keep going, whether that is gaining magical abilities or meeting a new person or something like that. There needs to be some kind of reward that keeps enticing them forward, even though they've just made this impossible choice. That's it for our 5 tips on writing the first plot point. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time on Writing Quest. Huzzah!